Hello again. In the last video in this series we looked at the impact of sensory processing difficulties on some of our children in terms of anxiety. Another common cause of anxiety in many of our children is a communication impairment. Many children with a neurodevelopmental condition such as autism or PDA, ADHD or a learning disability may also have a communication impairment of some sort. Sometimes these language difficulties aren't always easy to spot, and that means that a child may be regarded as being naughty or willful or rude or insolent when they simply haven't heard things properly or understood what's been said. It's always worth remembering that there are two parts to spoken communication: talking and listening, which is also known as expressive and receptive communication. A child who is very articulate and who uses a wide vocabulary and who gives the impression of being a great communicator may struggle with taking on board and properly understanding what's being said to them. Yet the adults around them often make the mistake of assuming that if they can talk well, they'll have an equally good grasp of what they hear in return. However, the two aspects of communication, talking and listening, are in fact very different skills, and a child who's good at one may be significantly less good at the other. Many of our children need much more time than we realise to process information, so it can be useful when giving instructions to speak slowly, with as few words as possible, and with lots of time for the child to take on board what they've just been told before moving on to the next part of the instructions. What can really help our children understand better is helping this understanding by using visuals. We all understand things much more easily when there's a picture given alongside the words. That's why documentaries and dramas are generally more successful on TV than they are on the radio. Using visuals to augment understanding can be very helpful for many children. However, some older children and teenagers may be understandably resistant to the use of visuals because they may think that it's babyish. If that's the case, write things down for them. Seeing words in a visual format as well as hearing them spoken can be equally helpful, and many families have got around this resistance by backing up instructions with a text message to their child. Some children don't develop language skills as well, and some children will never acquire speech and will remain non-verbal. The ability to talk is not the same as the ability to communicate, and there is virtually always a way in which a child can be empowered to connect through communication with the people around them. In the past 10 years or so alone, we've seen huge advances being made in technology to augment communication, and there are many apps that can be used on an iPad or similar device that can help a child to learn how to make basic choices and to express their needs. Eye gaze is another breakthrough development which is opening up all sorts of possibilities around communication for some children. Communication is one of the most important aspects of being human. The ability to connect, to exchange ideas, to share common ground and to build relationships depends heavily on it. If a child has a communication impairment, it's imperative that it's both recognised and addressed. And if you have any concerns whatsoever, please ask for a referral for your child to see a speech and language therapist who should be able to help. Thank you. See you in the next video. Goodbye.